Hi everyone, Wilma from Freya's Daughter here, and I wanted to talk to you and give you just an update because it's been a while since I've talked about how things are going with my new business venture, the tarot readings and the tarot decks. Sales are coming along tickety-boo, I guess, with the tarot decks, and I've had some good response from people around enjoying the decks. So I have to say I really enjoy the process of creation and the artistic creative factor. I've come to realize that I'm just a creative person, and it's something that I need to have in my life desperately. But I also wanted to talk a little bit about the type of tarot readings and stuff that I want to do. As you know, I took this branding and marketing magic course. It was a birthday gift to myself, and in fact it started the day after my birthday, and it's going to be closing soon, I think in the next week, I think, is our last class, and I'm going to miss it. I really enjoyed that experience. It was an amazing opportunity to learn so much, and also to really kind of hone in on my business and what my branding, and learn so much about marketing because I was a neophyte. I knew nothing about things and was sort of winging it this last year. So there was an amazing women in the course and amazing women running the course. So I feel really blessed to have taken it. But part of the process of me doing this course was really kind of learning about myself in terms of what makes me different and what makes me unique in terms of as a tarot reader. And what I realized is that what I thought was potentially my handicap, or perhaps my challenge in life, is actually the strength. And I've noticed that the clients that seem to come to me, and the clients that I get, and the readings that I have the most pleasure and enjoyment of and with, are the ones in which people are really struggling and having challenges. I'm a registered nurse, so I've worked in the healthcare industry here in Canada for a long time, and as a result I have worked with a lot of clients and patients with a multitude of issues and struggles, from mental health to physical disabilities and so on and so forth. I'm also someone who has had my own fair share of struggles with mental health challenges in the past. I'm a parent, so I come with, interestingly enough, a lot of knowledge and experience around what it's like to kind of struggle with the dark side. And when I say the dark side, I mean those difficult, challenging times in our life where you have to really struggle to kind of come back from difficulties. And what I've learned in the course of my now 51 odd years and my multitude of issues has been how important these times are in terms of honing who we are, in terms of our resiliency, and that it's not the mistakes that we make, it's not the challenges and bad things that happen to us, it's how we come back from these things, it's how we cope, it's how we take each day at a time to survive in sometimes for some people is a really difficult, challenging time for them. So what I'm finding is that those readings, and for whatever reason, I don't know, these people seem to kind of land on my table, who are, some of them, going through some really difficult times in their life. And these are the readings that I love the best. I love them. I love the deep dark. I love going to that really intense place with people. And for whatever reason in my life, it's not only being as a tarot reader, but even just as a friend, I've always been a person for whom people and friends and also patients and clients could talk to and could open up to and could reveal, a lot of the, intimate and deep and dark issues that they were going through in their life. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because I'm a very open person myself. Maybe it's because I am receptive to these things, that I'm interested in that in their lives, that I approach them with support and non-judgment. So I've always been that person, and it seems like that has consequently translated to the type of readings and the type of clients I get. So, but I love it. It's intense. I will be perfectly honest with you. So the readings I find tend to oftentimes be quite, intense and emotionally taxing for both the clients as well as for myself. But what I find, because as you draw each card and things go deeper and messages from spirit come up and support and help and insight for people, and I find that they open up to me, and we are then able to actually really delve in a really intense way around an issue or around looking at something that's going on in their life. And of course, my approach to reading is not to, is to empower people, is to offer them an opportunity for them to kind of, look deeper into their life, to sort of, consider the situation in a new way, to open up opportunities for them to see other means of how to kind of approach a situation, and how they can, sort of best move forward in a situation that they're in. Because ultimately, everyone is on their own journey, and everyone in this journey has to figure this out for themselves. There's no magic pill. There's no, abracadabra magic situation that's going to solve something, but for each individual person to kind of, allow themselves to be vulnerable and truthful and go a little deeper and do the work for themselves. And that's why I love the dark side so much. And I say this, I'm laughing when I say this, because I have been to some really, it can be so painful and horrible sometimes, and just heart-wrenching and devastating when we are going through difficult times. But what comes out of it is a stronger person who has, made it back from a very, very difficult place. So during the course of this branding and marketing magic course, we had to kind of sort of find a, in 6 words or less, elevating mantra, we called it, but essentially it's sort of an elevator pitch. And sort of my elevating mantra is that I'm a torchbearer for lost seekers, illuminating dark paths with tarot insights. So that's sort of my little mantra, and kind of how I've come to see myself and the work that I do. And it seems as if the universe is sort of unfolding a little bit and allowing people to kind of find me. And I had most recently a client who, I guess he had contacted a couple of other readers, and I got the sense that he was sort of trying to figure out, who he was going to go to, and because of course he asked me the question I hate all the time is sort of, how accurate are you? And I kind of like, I hate it when people say that, because I basically said to him, if what you're looking for is someone to kind of do the magic answers for you, that's not the kind of readings that I do. And I explained to him that what I do is really kind of go very deeply into looking at what the cards have to say for you and the messages that are coming up for you, and if that's what you're looking for, then I might be a good fit. But if it's not, then there's other readers in the city that might be better suited for you. Well, I guess what I said was what he wanted to do, and he ended up having an hour-and-a-half reading with me, because we went so intensely and so deeply, and so much stuff came up for him. And at the end of it, he laughed. He said, I was looking for a couple of people, and I wasn't really sure. Initially, I just wanted, someone to tell me, were we going to have a baby, and am I going to, get a new job? And he said, but what the reading that you gave me was so much more intense. It's almost as if you're not just a tarot reader. It's like tarot and psychology. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I'm like a tarot counselor, and that to me is what's the most interesting. But he left the table just, like a lot lighter. I could see that, because he came in quite heavy. He left a lot lighter and quite inspired and very empowered, because he was really doubting his own psychic connections and his own feelings and beliefs on things. And he left really kind of renewed in a sense, and feeling like almost vindicated. And so that was just an amazing reading, and I seem to get a lot of these over and over again. So so for whatever reason, I think the universe and the great goddess is steering these people to my table. So this is the readings and the work that I want to do, and this is what excites me and motivates me. And I love it's just juicy, that opportunity to kind of go to the really difficult, dark things. And people reveal a lot of really deep, intense and challenging things to me, and I feel so grateful and so blessed that I can be that person to kind of work with them, and so respectful of, their trust in me to do that. So I'm so grateful for this course that has kind of allowed me to really focus in on what it is that I want to do. And so I'm a little nervous about the marketing of all of this, because it's pretty intense, the kind of work that I'm seeking to do with people. But I really believe that it is the work that I'm meant to do with people. And although I still obviously offer, career readings and relationship readings and stuff that I think all tarot readers just get anyways, it's the face the dark side, tarot counseling, reading stuff that I am so passionate, and what I really, really, really want to do. So that is essentially what I think makes me different, and what I think makes my readings unique, and kind of what I hope will be why people seek out my table, to do that deep, dark work. And so along that vein, another interesting thing has come up for me. As this course is ending, I'm beginning another course that I just literally found out about in the last couple of weeks, and it just feels like it's so meant to be, and it's kismet. It is a Sorcery of Hecate course, and Hecate was my very, very first matron goddess who I dedicated myself to, and I became a new witch way, way back in my 20s. And of course, she's always been that overriding influence in my life, although lately in the last 10 years I've worked more closely with Freya, hence why I'm Freya's daughter. But I've noticed that she's been kind of knocking on my door in this last year in a lot of different ways, and has always kind of had her hand in things to a certain degree. So she's definitely come out now, and wants me to work with her more intensely. And I think that has to do with sort of this work that I'm doing with my reading, and this dark side work, and the personal work that I've done just in therapy for myself in the last couple of years, that has really made it really crucial and important, and at this time beneficial for me to do this work with her. So I'm so excited to be connecting on a deeper level with the Dark Goddess and with Hecate, and all of this is just all kind of like seemingly falling into place. So I'm thinking that this was all kind of meant to be. So anyways, that's just a little update on where things stand, and why you might consider having a reading with me, and the kind of work that I really am excited to do. See you later. Bye-bye.